Scottie and I have already bought you a video on our Michael Jackson stuff, and here we have the Jacksons and the Jackson 5. I thought Scott and I should put them together, because, you know, they really are the same group, right? I mean, they just left Motown and they had to change their name over some legal stuff, so, I mean, they're more or less the same group, except for one little difference, you know? And that difference is they lost a member, but we'll get into that, and gained a new one. But, you know, there's so many people in that family. So, we're going to start from the Jacksons to the Jackson 5, right?
Correct.
Yeah, I know that's kind of backwards, but this album, Michael Jackson actually left the Jackson 5 in 1984 after the Victory Tour, and they didn't come out with a new album until 89 with this album, and it was basically the Jackson 4. Randy came in, and it has most of the brothers, including Jermaine. You know, that was a little in thing, apparently. You were telling me about that? Something on the Motown 25 that Michael Jackson said that?
Yeah. He would always say, all my brothers, including Jermaine.
Yeah, kind of a cut, you said?
Yeah.
Yeah, I guess, because, you know, Jermaine stayed at Motown. There's different reasons when the Jacksons left, and they had to change their name because of legal reasons. And I think Jermaine was like Michael's checkmate Charlie. He was the one who kind of did the back and forth with him when he was a kid. And, you know, Michael had to take a lot of the leads after that. But he's not even on this album, except one track, and that's the title track, isn't it?
2300 Jackson Street.
Yeah, actually the only Jackson sister who's not on that are LaToya and I think Janet aren't on that, but all the brothers, Reeby's on that, and Michael appears on it. My favorite song on here, I think, is, I love Art of Madness. This is such a crazy song. This was produced by Fitzgerald and Hartley while they were the management. They were actually the management of Rick Astley, believe it or not. Great album, kind of, Bobby Brown, New Jack Swing sounding. You know, Randy Jackson was a really underrated record producer, and I really enjoyed this album. I have it on CD. And here's a lyric sheet. They're still on their classic label, Epic, standard Epic label. This is a white lyric sheet. I don't know if you've heard this album, have you?
I've listened to a couple of songs off it.
Yeah, it's an underrated album. If you can't get into it immediately, you have to kind of distance yourself from Michael Jackson, because this is the Jacksons without him doing it. Now, if you want classic Jacksons, this is where things get interesting. They were writing, they were producing on their own, and they had a song called Blame It on the Boogie that was written by another Michael Jackson, and you've heard the version, right?
Yes, I have.
Mick Jackson, he called himself. You know. Here are the brothers, Randy, Tito, Jackie, not including Jermaine, Marlon, Mike at the other end, and some little pictures of them, and the peacock. I love this back. Michael Jackson says, well, he and Jackie, through the ages, the peacock has been honored and praised for its attractive, illustrious beauty. Of all the bird family, the peacock is the only bird that integrates all colors into one and displays its radiance of fire only when in love. We, like the peacock, try to integrate all races into one through the love of music. I love that peacock on the back. It's such an amazing concept. Yeah.
Back when I was 16, 17, I used to make my own mixtapes of Jackson's music. And I would always try and draw a peacock. Yeah, because that was so associated with them then. Yeah, I called it Peacock Records. Yeah, that's a really cool story. And they have the original version of Shake Your Bar, great album. Yes. Personally, I really love this one. This came just before. This was around the time Michael was doing The Wiz, wasn't it? Yes. Going Places. My CD does not have that nice color shot of them on the motorbikes. Really dirty looking motorbikes, but I love that picture. They actually wrote two songs on here, Different Kind of Lady and Do What You Wanna, which I love. Two of my favorite songs are Music's Taken Over. It's just, you know, music is a doctor that can cure a troubled mind. Just amazing. And Man of War, a great message song. There's that image again. Image again. And this should have the old Epic label.
The old Epic label. And bring that down. Philadelphia International, Gamble and Huff, and Dexter Wenzel put this together, folks. This is the second album the Jacksons did on Epic. And here is the first. Enjoy yourselves, the one that starts this out. This is their first post-Jermaine. Little Randy's there next to Michael. This says Enjoy Yourself. They did a kind of country song on here called Show You the Way to Go, too. I always like this album. It's a big change for them.
No special ones.
It's the same label as the other one, right?
Same label, yes.
Yeah, that was one of the first CDs that I actually ever bought with my own money. I don't know if I told you that.
No, you didn't.
Yeah, that album's very special to me. I still have that edition. It's got some scratches, but I'll never get rid of that because I love it. Anyway, here is the Jacksons live on vinyl for the Triumph tour, right?
Triumph,
yeah. Yep. And there they are. Looks like they're ready to do "Can You Feel It?" You know, Randy yelling that out. There's Michael back there. There's the feet. There's the Michael Jackson feet. Get that started right there with them on the tippy toes. He did not start that on Motown 25. He was doing that 2 years earlier. This Epic label?
Standard Epic label, yeah.
What I wouldn't give for somebody to release that on concert. Now, this is a very special single, right? John Luongo did this?
Yes, this is. And
Shake Your Body Down, extended disco mix. There was a club in Bangor called The Bounty, and my mother first heard this song there, and we all know the little dun 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 dun, dun, you know, at the beginning. But on this one, they added this synthesized foghorn thing. You know, it's ooh. That makes this version really special. You know, just that addition of that little one thing. You know, they put that on the Destiny anniversary. State of Shock, the Jacksons and Michael Jackson and Mick Jagger. Freddie Mercury was going to do this with him, wasn't he?
yes, Freddie Mercury actually did. There is a version of this around with Freddie Mercury.
Yeah, and it didn't quite hold together quite as well as Mick Jagger's, did it?
No, it
You know,
didn't.
I think maybe Freddie needs some more rehearsal, or he was busy with Queen, or kind of worn out. But anyway, this was Michael's big moment on the Victory album, and he didn't have many. There's the Victory album, because that's another story about what happened with Victory. But it's 1984, I think.
Yes.
Triumph. Now, this is my favorite of the Jacksons albums, personally. You know, Can You Feel It? Lovely one. Your Ways is one that I love. And what is the song they changed the title of more recently? Yep, it's right here. Heartbreak Hotel. It's called This Place Hotel now because of the Elvis thing. Now you got a space peacock there. They're integrating all alien extraterrestrials into the world of music now because they got this peacock floating in the galaxy. I love this. There's a little lyric sheet inside. It's a plain lyric sheet. And they got the peacock story down there too. Yep, this plain lyric sheet.
And it is standard Epic.
I got another edition of this. I think maybe a cat chewed that one up, but it's still in good shape. I always love that album. I've actually had it on vinyl twice and on CD twice and on cassette once. Victory, the picture disc. I knew about it, but I had never seen it. Where did you get that?
Same place I got the Thriller picture disc.
You got that at the East
I got it at the
Corinth.
same time.
Wow, they have it on the wall or something?
Nope. I was in there going through it and went to the J's, and they were both there.
You know, this is one of the few tracks where they give Tito a song to sing, "We Can Change the World," and actually not too bad. All the Jacksons had a different song to sing. Michael didn't really do much on here. He duetted with Jermaine on Torture, and he had a very sad, folky message song called "Be Not Always" and "State of Shock," but that was Michael's thing on the album. You know, that was mostly the Jacksons' thing, really. And here's the Torture. I have this in my collection too. This has various extended mixes of the song. There's the Victory album on vinyl. I had that at one point, but I got rid of it. I don't know why, but I did. Okay, so this is the Jackson 5. 14 Greatest Hits. Was this a TV advertised album?
This was a TV advertised album. I did not get it off TV. I actually got this at Radio Shack in Machias.
Oh, wow.
Sometimes they were selling.
Radio Shack had records. I never actually saw them. And there's a special treat in here for you. Actually, a couple special treats. There's a booklet.
Which is actually...
There's actually a poster, look of it. There they are. There's the Jackson 6, including Jermaine and Randy together. And there's the Jackson 5 in different times.
On the other side.
And there's another side. Yeah, Michael Jackson doing his Frank Sinatra thing. I don't know if you could see that. Down a little bit. There. Yeah, I remember him doing a version of It's a Very Good Year where he said, when I was 2 years old, I was 4 years old. I thought that was so cute. And there's another little gizmo inside that, I never knew came with this. Well, one thing, it's a picture disc. Kind of an Andy Warhol style etching. That's from their first album, 1969. And there's another little gizmo in here to show you. There's a lot of gizmos on this album. The Motown 25 glove. It's not a glitter glove, but it's a Jackson 5 glove with glittery little gold Jackson 5 logos on it.
I kept this all together.
That is serious awesomeness, isn't it? It's got everything. I'm glad you kept... I don't think you're going to find all that stuff with it in the wild.
No.
That has some serious goodies in it. Going back to Indiana, Zot Vroom. Looks like something from Adam West's Batman. R.I.P. Adam West. This is actually a TV show they did with Bill Cosby as Scoop Newsworthy, and they did all these little skits and stuff. Kind of a variety show. And this is the soundtrack to it. Some live cuts, some little skits they did. Really nice collector's item to have on vinyl. And on the back, you get a whole bunch of things about the people who were in it. Rosie Greer. All those kind of people. Looking through the windows. I always loved that song. Lenny Kravitz even said that was one of Michael Jackson's favorite moments to him. 1972. They had a hit on here called Little Bitty Pretty One, which was a cover. But I love that album. That was the album they did just before his voice changed. Oh, does it have one of those insides? Oh, yes, it does. I don't know if I can show it to you. It's this little kind of funny thing. I used to have a bunch of these. Look at the Jackson's Personals. But look at, it has Jermaine, Just For You. Now you can be Tito's personal soulmate. Now you can become Michael's, Jackie's. But look what it says on Marlon's. Wow, wow, wow. I always get a kick out of that. Wow, wow, wow. He gets a wow, 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 Marlon. I love that. All these little crazy fan club things you could get. Oh, Skywriter. I love this album. The favorite cut we both have on this is The Boogeyman. Yes. And again, one of the few cuts where Tito's actually singing. Michael's voice is changing on this. This was a major failure, unfortunately, for them. And, Skywriter is like there's some psychedelic guitars on it. Hallelujah Day, they're doing like this gospel thing about the Vietnam War being over. And, they have a song on here called You Made Me What I Am, where it's just, the whole album is just them maturing. Michael Jackson's 14, his voice is changing. This is like post Never Can Say Goodbye, but pre-Dancing Machine. It's that transition, but I love it. One of my favorites of theirs.
This also came from Radio Shack in Machias.
Yeah. And I think it has one of those things in it. Yep, the wow, wow, wow.
Wow, wow, wow again.
And this is when they were getting a little older. Marlon was a little older then, Wow, 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 wow. And I don't know why they didn't have... I think they were still trying to think of them as kids, so that's what you get for Jackson 5 and Jacksons, huh?
That's the Jacksons and Jackson 5.
I've had these on vinyl alternately and CD over the years, but this is truly an amazing collection, especially that 14 Greatest Hits. Just going to a Radio Shack and picking that up. I never bought records at Radio Shack. I never saw them, But by the time I go there, they didn't have anything like that, so... It's really cool to pick up. So, enjoy your music, especially you Jackson 5 fans. Peace.